Uh, Namaskar, good evening, Shubho Navabarsho, Happy Bihu to all our viewers. Uh, Today, as you all know, we are gathered to celebrate the birth centenary of none other than Padma Vibhushan Swar Samrat Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab. And for the occasion, we have Dr. Pandit Ranajit Sengupta with us. Kaku, welcome.
Good evening,
And
Shubho.
co-hosting with me, we have a fantastic sitar artist from our generation, Sri Anustup Bhattacharya. Anustup, welcome to the show.
Namaskar, Namaskar, thank you.
Anustup, maybe you want to make yourself a bit louder.
Oh yeah, so I have to hold my mic like this. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
probably. Uh, so, without further ado, let's start the proceedings. Unustup.
So we are so happy to have Pandit Ranajit Sengupta with us today, and I'd like to ask you, like to set the ground for today's interview. So, tell me, Pandit ji, that you started with mandolin as a child prodigy. You had played so much of mandolin, but how did you go on to play the sarod? So, tell us about the journey. And did Ali Akbar Khan Sahab, actually influence you in some way? So, please tell us
Yes,
about that.
he did. Actually, to be honest, during my childhood, I was only playing non-classical music. You may say, uh, maybe some light classical, but mainly commercial songs on mandolin and guitar. And I played like any string instrument from my childhood. I could grab that my uncles or my friends used to bring at our home in Guwahati in Assam, where I was born. And I would need only few minutes to know how the instrument is tuned, and then I could play songs in fraction of seconds. But I was not into classical music that much, because also in Guwahati, where I was born and I spent my early childhood, we did not have the same music scene like in Kolkata. I mean, the same classical music scene. So when I came first to Kolkata, I was 8 or 9 years old, and then people found that I played an instrument called mandolin, and they took me to different musical gatherings, and I played, and but that was in a way. That made me very popular at that age, and I had my first disc released when I was 10 only, at the International Children Year,
That's
because it
amazing.
was the famous and one of the greatest music composers from Indian film music industry, Shalil Chaudhary. He found me playing one of his composition at Bususri Cinema Hall, which is in Kolkata, and that Bususri Cinema Hall used to host a very special program on Paila Boishak, actually today, this day.
Wow,
I think it must be
it's
40 years back now, over 40
it's
years back,
remarkable
that
that
I
this
was
day was
invited
actually
there.
chosen for this interview.
Yes, I just realized now it was the same day, about 40 years ago. And I was a kid and I played there. And fortunately, during the time I was playing a song from a film called Minu. Both of you might know this about. This is
तेरी
a
गलियों
film.
में हम आए.
Teri Galiyon Mein Hum Aaye. Yes, exactly. That song had a very, very challenging accordion piece in prelude, interlude, and first interlude or second interlude, I don't remember. But there was music
First
played
one,
on
yeah.
accordion. So when I was so little boy, but I was able to play that melody on mandolin, which is actually almost impossible. Uh, Especially for the accordion players also. But I was waiting for the accompanying artists who were accompanying me on stage on that day. But when I saw they are not playing, I started playing that. And immediately Shuli Chaudhary came from the audience to the stage and took me to his arms and told, this boy will be a musician one day. Yeah. So, and I don't know if it was luck or that my parents, my both parents, I am the only son from my parents, and they were not in a position to accept that their son will be a musician by profession. Because my father has been an IRTS, which is equivalent to IAS. He was working for Indian Railways and a very important personality for Calcutta Metro, the first underground railway in India. So naturally, he was expecting that my son will be doing some kind of normal studies. But anyway, to come to that point, that I played mandolin, and then he called me to the hotel he used to stay while in Calcutta. He was still staying in Bombay, But in Kolkata, he used to stay in Saptarshi Hotel, which is just close to the Mouchak sweet shop in Gold Park. I think you know the very famous. I don't know if it is still there, but it was very famous sweet shop. And I remember during my marriage there was missed sweets from that shop. So he invited me there. Shulin Chaudhary invited me there, so I went there with my father, and then he took me to. He did not take me. He organized me to go to Bhival Sara at Inreco, which is Hindustan Records, one of the oldest record companies in India, and they had a wing called Inreco, which still exists now. So from Inreco in 1979, I played 4 songs, but all 4 songs were non-classical. It was 4 songs, one from Shali Chaudhary, one from R.D. Burman, one from Lakshmikant Pyarelal, and one from Kalyan Jananji, all Bombay film music directors. So I played, and then because of that record, and because people know about someone is a little boy is playing, so I had a lot of concerts all over West Bengal, especially, and also in other parts of India. So I was really not connected to classical music beside my sister who lives in Canada now. My younger sister means I'm my chordi. We call it sister. I have 2 older sisters. So among them, the younger one, she used to have a teacher coming to our home, and she used to learn raga music. So the raga music which I only listened to was my sister practicing raga tori in the morning or raga yaman in the evening. But then in one fine morning, she used to listen to this 8:30 a.m. Kolkata Ko, which is Calcutta A program for classical music. So one fine morning, he was she was listening to the radio and asked me, please come, today is a special day because it is Ustad Ali Akbar Khan is playing. So I told, okay, I will come. So I listened, and that day was one of the most important thing in my life because that sound changed my life. That sound of the instrument, that expression of the himself as a musician, and the whole thing. He played Ahir Bhairav. I strongly remember he played Ahir Bhairav that day. Maybe it was not a live concert. Maybe it was a old recording they were playing.
Kaku,
So
just saying, do you remember the tals in which he played?
Bilambit Tintal. Alap and then Bilambit Tintal. And then he did not, I don't remember if he played a Ruth because the 30 minutes is too long, too less. He told me later in different times whenever I joined his workshops in India and in California. He told that you have to play long Alap, and if you have a time limit, if your organizer is telling you have to play only half an hour, then play shorter Alap because, and if you, or play only Alap. So he always wanted to play longer alap. So I, because it was very long ago, I remember the raga and I remember it was the tintal, but I don't remember if he played both Bilambit or Drut. So I immediately started looking for a sarod, but it was not possible for me. Then my brother-in-law, he found someone in his area in Sham Bazar. He found a sarod with a person who stopped playing or had a new sarod, so he wanted to sell his old sarod. So that was my first sarod, but that was a we call it Shawkani sarod, 6 kan, 6 keys. So for Ali Akbar Khan style, it is 8 keys, but at least I can start playing and see how the instrument look like. So he bought for me, but I needed it needed 6 months until I got my first sarod. I got my first sarod in 87. I started playing 86, but my sarod that which I still play today, that I got in 1987. So my real talim started from my guru, late Ustad Dhanesh Khan. My first guru was late Dhanesh Khan. So he introduced me to sarod, and I was so lucky that he was the son of Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab. And then my journey continued. I totally fell in love with sarod, and slowly I stopped playing. Not stopped playing. I played less guitar and mandolin and played sarod. But at that moment, in one moment, I became a very, very busy studio musician because there was only a few who could play all these 3 instruments for a musical project. So I always had to carry 3 instruments to the studio. But slowly I found that it is difficult with my nails, because for sarod you have to keep the nails, and for playing guitar and mandolin you have to cut the nails. So then I still teach a lot of students playing guitar and mandolin, and I also developed a style in 1988 89 to play guitar like sitar and sarod, a combination of sitar and sarod style. So this is a
That's
specialty that
remarkable.
I developed. And lot of students, I have a lot of students around the world, from Brazil, from Germany, from Switzerland, who has learned from me this style, Indian classical raga style, on uh, Western guitar. I should not say it's Spanish guitar, because Spanish guitar has a different meaning, and it is a different instrument, and it is a different nylon string. So,
Right.
but I have students who play nylon string and play ragas on nylon string as well.
That's
But mainly it
remarkable.
is Western steel string guitar where I developed a style, because I had to cut my nails. I could not continue myself to play that for long. Uh,
That is true. That is
but
true.
that is the start of going deciding sarod as my final instrument in life.
So basically, it's kind of remarkable because it is listening to Khan Sahab that made you decide to take up the sarod, and then you got the opportunity to receive direct talim from his sons, Ustad
Yes.
Dhanesh Khan and then Ustad Ashish Khan. After I think
After
Ustad
the
Dhanesh Khan
demise of
passed
my
away
first
in
guru.
1991. Yeah. So the next question is, how often in their lessons did they talk about the music of their father or the approach of their father to the music that they played?
Actually, in the beginning, I remember, because I was not from the classical music background at all. Like my other colleagues, my other guru bhais, they started playing sarod as a kid, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years old when they started playing sarod. But I started when I was 17, and actually, I was musically. Uh, exposed to other genre of music, other genres of music. So for me,
Okay.
oh, I have to play dada dada for 5 hours was in the beginning very very difficult for me. But my Guruji was very strict. He was so lovable. He used to take me from university by his car to, or by taxi. He used to have taxi from Rabindranath University, which was at that time in Jorashako. Right now it is in BT Road, but at our time it was in Jorashako. And he used to take a taxi, and he took me to Hemenshen's place where he had the class. He used to teach at the mezzanine floor of the Sarod Bekar Hemenshen's residence, where Hemensen had a big house, and in the mezzanine floor, I used to go with him, and he almost every day he was buying food for me. And so when he saw that I am slowly falling in love with classical music, he even become more uh, serious about asking me to stop going to studios. He told, no, you cannot do both. You have to concentrate on Sarod. So for me, these years, 1987 to 89, was the main. Till today, I think 1987 to 1989 was the most important part of my life as a musician, because I grabbed the instrument when I went to Rabindranath University to learn. In 86, I completed my 10 plus 2, and then I got not a very good position, but I got chance at Jalpaiguri Engineering College in joint entrance after in engineering. But I decided to do music, and so I went to the interview, and I was playing something like Ayurveda. I loved so much, so I found a recording. Huh? Huh. So I played the sarod, but then they told my Guruji Dhanesh Khan was there. He told, "Oh, you cannot even grab the sarod." So then I had to bring the mandolin and play something to let them know that I know ragas a little bit, but I don't know how to grab the sarod. So actually, my Guruji late Ustad Dhanesh Khan started with me from the scratch. He took me as his disciple, and he showed me everything. And in 1989, I got the national scholarship. I became the first class first in Rabindranath University, and I got the President Award. Like I got the first position in
Right.
all-India radio
Wow.
competition. So you can imagine from 1987 to 1989, what was my uh, talim from my guru, and what I have practiced for that 2.5 years, I think I was doing nothing than doing only playing sarod.
Uh,
And during that
During
time,
this
of course,
time,
he always told, "This is Baba's composition. Learn this.
right.
You have to make your hand ready." So first few months, I was struggling. I was really struggling. You can imagine someone who can play 20 songs in any time. I was able to also notate any composition from very young age, any kind of music from any genre of music. If somebody is playing, I can tell which chords are playing and which note, any song. So being into that uh, area of music, for me to play 20,000 times, I still have the paper. He wrote 1,000, and he told, if you come to me after 900, I will be able to recognize that you did not do 1,000. You have to do 1,000. So dada dada 1,000, didi dada to 10,000. So come next week after you've complete 10,000. So you know what I mean, the basics. So I
Right.
had to
So
practice the
during
basics. And
these years, or during the time that you have been training with, let's say, Dhanesh Khan Sahab, is there anything about Ali Akbar Khan Sahab that he told you and that has stuck with you throughout your journey as a musician?
of
Anything
course,
about Khan Sahab's riyaz or about how he used to compose? Or
of course, he told about Dadu. Of course, his Dadu is great grandfather from us, like Aladdin Khan Sahab. And also, he told that whenever Baba is here, uh, go to him and join his workshop. So, from that time onwards, I think it was 87, 88 that Khan Sahab came for a 3 days workshop at our university, Rabindranath University. And I was instructed by the university to take him from his Goriat home to university during that time, along with my other guru Bhais. I think it was Proshenjit and Borora Namitavo. We came several times, we came, but it was almost impossible to talk to him. He did not talk himself also a lot, Kansab, but his music influenced us from the day one, because in the beginning, I did not have, at that time it was not so easy to get the YouTube links of every ragas that I was looking for. So we had to wait until Guruji was telling me, okay, come today, I will play you, or I will give you some recording, then you can listen to it on a cassette. At that time it was cassette, not yet CD was popular. CD became popular later. So it was our we always looked out for possibilities to grab the recordings from Khan Sahab. But I don't remember right now exactly some particular thing that you are asking me that Guruji told. Actually, whole time, whenever he taught us composition, it was mostly his father and Annapurna Devi. This I must tell you that I have learned personally a lot of composition which I don't hear today from many artists. I have learned. I think recently I played one of her composition in Kafi when my Guruji also called me and he blessed me that I started to play that Kafi Tappa. It is a Tappa composition in Bilambit Tintal.
by
So I
Guruji, do you
have
mean
some rare
Ashish Khan
composition
Sahab?
that it is a treasure in our Gharana, in Mayar Seni Gharana, it is a treasure. So every students who learn from their gurus from the same Gharana, they have maybe a different treasure from the same raga. You mean it was the same situation yesterday when we went to this TV show with Tejendra and Mujumdar Tejendra and Shiraj Bhai. So we were discussing that from the same ragas we all know maybe 10 each different compositions.
Right, right. What you said, I guess, perfectly sets the tone for the third question. Anustup.
So you have like you had met when he was in college in you were in university. So when was the first formal meeting with Khan Sahab? So যখন আপনি
I
প্রথম
think it was the same year when I started, because during that time, every year in winter, Khan Sahib used to come, and he used to stay in Guriahat. Very rarely he used to stay in Lakeview Road there at one of his students' place. But mostly he stayed at Guriahat House, and we were there like we only came home at night to sleep. We wanted to stay as much as possible close to him, which was not, sometimes it was not possible for days to come closer to him because he was taking
So
rest or
what was
because
the impression that you, when you saw him, what was the impression on you, like of his music or his personality? So what did you feel about him? Just tell us
actually
your
my
close
my
person.
my feeling about him, I just said day before yesterday that it is changing every day. What I told about him yesterday and what I will tell today about him is changing because he's a personality who is influencing me so much. But in short, I can say he is the perfect blend of intellect along with passion. In Bengali, I should use this word, abeg আর মেধার একটা সংমিশ্রণ, এবং তার মধ্যে যে ব্যালেন্সটা, মানে তার যে ভারসাম্যটা, সেটা এত আহ, বিশেষ, it is so special that you cannot live with Ali Akbar Khan Sahab. It is just part of you. I don't remember that I don't listen to him. I listen to him every day. I don't remember a day that I forgot to listen to him, either in the morning or late night or during my travel, during my tours. I always carry his music. Nowadays it is easier, but otherwise before I used to travel with a cassette, a small cassette recorder, later with a small CD player, which was popular a couple of years ago. So I was always carried his music with me. His music, I think it is part of. So if someone is playing sarod, I don't know if from which gharana he belongs, but the influence of Ali Akbar Khan Sahib is in every instrument. Also, not only sarod, sitar, sarod, everything. I mean, all musicians, they
Vocal music
somehow
also.
have the influence from Ali Akbar Khan Sahib or inspiration from his music when you play. If you are true to yourself, if you are
So
true to
you have
your music, you're true to yourself.
learned from Ashish Khan Sahab and also Danish Khan Sahab, and also you have learned little bit from Ali Akbar Khan Sahab also in his
Little bit
workshops
I
or
should say, because I feel very proud to tell my Guruji's name as Ustad Danish Khan and Ustad Ashish Khan Sahab. But I several times whenever I was touring US, and especially when I was coming to California, like when I was touring, I not always played for Ali Akbar College of Music, but I played for Basan Bahar several times. I remember
okay.
one time I was touring with Shubhajyoti Guha. We played for Basan Bahar, and then after the concert, I went to meet him, and then I requested him if I can join the classes during that time. So I joined the classes, and then I joined the classes earlier times too. When I came with Uttam Chakrabarti, my friend who died now is a tabla player, student Pandit Shapan Chaudhary. That was my first performance at his college. That was also very special because I told you about that, or I can tell you later about that. But the approach to music as a teacher to the student, like Dhanasda has a totally different way of teaching. My first guru, then my second guru was Ashish Khan Sahab, different, very different. And Ali Akbar Khan Sahab also, of course, because doesn't matter how good you are as a sarod player or sitar player at Ali Akbar College of Music, you have to sing. The first part of the class every day is singing. So you have to sing with him. And then there is a break, and then you can take your instrument, tune in instrument, and then you can learn the raga he will teach that day. So it was very much helping. It was very much
Mm.
helping when I joined this
Just in
workshop.
case someone who plays Sarod is watching, is there anything special that you would like to talk about how Khan Sahib used to tune his Sarod? I mean,
Yes,
is there any
he
advice
he's
regarding
Or the
tuning that you
Tanpura
share?
also, or
Yes,
sometimes the
Yes,
absolutely.
Tanpura
yes,
also.
yes. He was tuning that Stanpura very fast. Yesterday, actually, Tejenda was telling that that he was doing very fast, like like the guitars you play very fast. But he was doing it so good that Pandit Ravi Shankar once said that he always gave Khan Sahab to tune the Tanpura because he was so perfectly he tuned it so perfectly, so fast, because he told that the when you play it for a longer time, then the shrutis change in between. So if you do it very fast, then the tuning is better. It is his own idea. It is his own idea, but he was tuning it so properly. But he was tuning the sarod. I remember in some ragas, once I asked him that he was playing, most probably he was playing Sud Kalyan in a concert. But he was tuning also Komolga. So I was a little bit not sure. And also Suddhama. No, Tivrama and Komolga. And Suddhaga, of course, Suddhama. So I told him later. It was very difficult to ask him any questions, but I found a position he was having coffee. That is Komulga is not there in this raga. He told, I use the Shrutis, so I use this. So you can see in many of his recordings, when he tuned the instrument, he is tuning a note which is not present in that raga. It is special for him.
Yes. I mean, this is what I was getting at. What was the logic behind doing that? Like you said,
He told me
Komalga
it is
does
the
not appear
Shrutis.
in Shud Kalyan, but
No.
uh, the thing is it even possible to get that resonance? Or if you get that resonance, is it desirable?
I think I have no idea why. Actually, I saw my Guruji also, Ustad Khan Sahab also tuning sometimes like that. But uh, as we use the 22 microtones for the 12 notes, and I don't know if you know about it, I have been in the West as a very young boy, early 20s, I came to Europe first. And I learned Western classical music and jazz music as well, with us mainly with the friends who are or the teachers who are also musician and teachers. From them, I learned that originally in Western classical music also they use natural scale. The orchestration needed a instrument which will be tuned with many instruments playing the same thing. Then the piano was invented when the equally tempered scale was
Right. Right.
coming. So in that way, I think it is when like if you play Suddha Ga to Komal Re, you are anyway crossing Komal Ga and Suddha Re.
That is
You
there.
have to of course you have to go with your hand from Suddhaga to for violin
It
also
is there.
so maybe
Yes,
there is a
absolutely.
reason that he is tuning the instrument with some notes which is not used on that raga particularly, but using the,
I see.
of course Komalga is not needed for what
Yeah.
Anirban just told me, but maybe because this 2 3 4 2 2 3 4 division that we have for each note, like the tin dui tin tin dui tin dui tin dui dui tin cha. Yes, 22 shrutis. So maybe for that division you need,
Right. Right.
or like
So
some ragas he used tivrama, but actually it is a suddhama. But when you go from ma to pa, you are crossing the tivrama anyway.
right. Right.
And my
Kind
Guruji
of
have
makes
a very interesting record tuning, which I also have to tell you. As you asked me about tuning the instrument, he does in many a times. My Guruji, Sir Ashish Khan Sahab now, he tune last three notes at sa ga pa, like the major or minor chord. If it is a Komulga raga with Komulga, he plays sa Komulga pa. If it is a raga with a major third, then he uses sa ga pa. So this is also special from my Guruji. It attracts me also. But I try to maintain the whole the notes that used in that
aren't there.
raga. They are used in that.
Right. So you have also had occasion to perform for Khan Sahab multiple times. That is, you performed in many occasions when he was in the audience.
Not
Anything
many
special
occasions, but in
from
several occasions. But I should say the first one was very special because I was most nervous on that day because I came to play after the class. There, first half there was class, and second half, if somebody is going to perform, then the class and the second half was cancelled, and there is a performance. And then I thought that he will leave because after the class, first half of the class, he will leave to his home, but he did not leave. And also, when I arrived, the first person I met at the college was Bidushi Shishir Chaudhary, who had been very close to me for 5 years. I was a student. She was taking care so much. She was so motherly to me. So I was so much touched. He made the tea for me. I remember when I came with Uttam, and then. While performing, I saw in the audience Pandit Shapin Chaudhary and Vidushi Shishikala Chaudhary and Khan Sahab did not leave. So I was so nervous. I was very, very, very nervous. And I played Rag Bageshri. I remember every moment of that evening. And after the concert, I came to him, and then he told, if you play tihais in even in jor so many times, so what you will play during the gat? Don't play so many tihai. I was playing some tihais during the jor. So this was the first thing he told, and he told, I can see more influence of Ashish than Dhanesh on your playing. I used to play very fast dance. I tried to play because I can never play the dance like my guru. I will never play in my life. He is the final. I think the ones, the musicians who came close to my Guruji or learned from him, they know we have never seen a sarod player playing that fast and that crisp, that so deep and so not only fast. I mean, so I was trying to copy him. Of course, as a student, you try to imitate your guru. So these two things he told. He told, play something from what you learned from Danish. Then I played Mand. After the break, I played Mand. So I played Bagashri and then Mand. And then he told, yes, but you have to practice a lot. It is just starting. So that performance is very special for me. And then I got the watch with a Saraswati on it. I think a lot of musicians who came to Khan Sahab's college and performed, they all have this watch. But for me, it's a treasure for me. And the T-shirt he
Actually,
gave me
yes.
that day, I still have it. It is 2003. That means it is going to be 30 years.
Wow. Oh,
No, 20
wow.
years. It's going to
20,
be 20.
20. Yeah,
So I still have the T-shirt. It's not the watch, and this T-shirt is very special to me. I got it from him
absolutely.
after that.
Absolutely. Unustup, maybe the next question you would like to begin.
So we also know that Khan Sahab had another facet in him. He was also a music composer. He was also the music director for some films, for some Indian films as well as some films, American films. So, how would you say that? How was that influence on you? Because you have also composed music. You have
Yes.
also composed music
So,
for
of
songs
course,
as well as.
yes, it has influenced me, but I decided to do my PhD because of that. Because of that, as
Okay, major
I,
influence. Very major influence.
it is a major influences. I think I completed my masters in '93 and I left in 1994 for Europe. And then I don't say left, I traveled to Europe and then I continued traveling and making my career around the world. So, but I was always in my mind, I must do my PhD. And I was very sure from the very beginning, only because of less time, I was not able to start my research officially. But my research work was from the day one when I came to know about the music of Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab and also Pandit Ranajit Sengupta. My PhD is about both of them as their contribution as composers and collaborators with different genre of music. So when I heard first time the Karuna Supreme, I don't know if you know about that album with John Handy, where later in the second album there was El Subramaniam joining with violin. It is with a very famous jazz saxophonist called John Handy. It is album which is one of the very maybe the one of the earliest recordings where Indian classical sarod meets a saxophone. I have worked with saxophonist from Austria, no, his name is Herbie Königshofer. Yes, and that was the mainly influence from John Handy and Ali Akbar Khan Sahab's work. And then, of course, the film music, Kudito Pashan. This Kudito Pashan was introduced to me by
I was
my
about to,
first
yeah.
guru. He played me this film and told me that see the background music and the songs that is being used. So Devi, Satyatray's Devi was very big influence on my musical understanding, and I love learning about background music. I have a special love for background for films.
So
It
I
is a
remember
different part.
reading somewhere that Khan Sahab usually used to prefer, minimal instruments to create whatever
Yes,
impact was
yes,
needed.
yes,
So why the minimal instruments thing? Because for film scores, it is the more popular notion is that you have many different layers and harmonies going on. That was not
yes.
the
But
case with Khan Sahab. Why is that?
because his sarod, if he make one stroke, it is good enough. Like his entrance when he comes with the chair that we have in sarod, like especially his sound, that is already making a situation like a orchestra. For me it is like that. When he just play not even one note on his left hand, he just play that the sound, that the tone that he is giving, that is like an orchestra. And then if you listen to the title music from Kudito Bhasan, when he played with Pandit Nikhil Banerjee, the Kafi composition, very famous composition. He is playing only with the tabla player and the sitar. It's just a classical piece, but it goes so strong. It is so blended with the mood of the film. So if you need only two instruments to bring the mood, why you have to ask 50 musicians to do the background?
I mean, this is something that he has done in multiple films, even Devi. There is
Yes,
hardly anything outside of Sarod, Sitar,
sitar
Sulohar, and
and
Tabla.
sarod. Yes, sitar. A lot of sitar he used with.
Right.
This film.
At this point, maybe we'll look at a video where we'll first hear a part of Devi's theme music that was originally played by Pandit Nikhil Banerjee. And I think you played it very recently in a television show.
Yes,
So
yes,
let's look at them sequentially.
কি হলো?
কেন যাচ্ছ?
বাহারি কলেজ আছে না, পরীক্ষা আছে না, পাস করতে হবে তো।
কি লাভ?
মানে
ইংরেজি শেখে তো চাকরির জন্যে, আর চাকরি মানে রোজগার,
বেশ,
আর রোজগার মানে টাকা।
আচ্ছা,
তোমার বুঝি টাকার অভাব রয়েছে? তবে
বড় লোকেরা বুঝি ইংরেজি পড়ে না? রাজা রামমোহনের টাকার অভাব হয়েছিল?
না।
তুমি জানো তোমার স্বামী কত বিদ্বান? জানো কলেজের প্রফেসররা আমাকে কি বলেন?
আহা, ইংরেজি না শিখলে বুঝি বিদ্যে হয় না? তোমার বাবার বিদ্যে নেই?
আছে, সে পুরনো বিদ্যে। তার আর আমার মধ্যে এক যুগের ব্যবধান, বুঝেছ? বুঝিনি? তুমি বুঝবেও না, মূর্খ, তুমি বুঝবেও না।
क्या बात है. So before we move on further to Khan Sahab's experimental works, uh, he has also been a prolific composer of several ragas. Now, among these, of course, the most well-known name is Chandranandan. So, for those who are unaware, I'll just take a couple of minutes giving a background of how Chandranandan is said to have come into existence. So, basically, Khan Sahab was in a studio recording ragas for some album. Anustup, can you tell me who was on tabla for that particular thing?
Maybe it was Chaturlal. I'm not sure, but maybe it was
Okay.
Chaturlal.
At
So the
that
remarkable thing is on
that time it
Tanpura,
was
it
Satyendra
was
who was touring with him a lot. Yeah.
so on Tanpura, it was Pandit Nikhil Banerjee. Uh, what happens is he has, I mean, Khan Sahab is done recording a few pieces, and then suddenly from the studio, someone who is influential comes and tells him, Khan Sahab, we want to listen to something new. Khan Sahab asks him, okay, what new do you want to hear? And then whoever this person was kind of at a loss, but then he was quite adamant that no, it has to be something new. So what Khan Sahab does within a span of a few minutes is come up with this melody that is a combination of sort of Nandkons, Malkons, Konsi Kannada, and Chandrakons, I think, if I have not missed out any of the names. And then he plays it, everyone is very happy. And then I think the producer asks him, what is the name? Because it was a full moon night, he decides to call the raga Chandradandan. And once the record hits the market, it becomes a huge hit. Uh, every concert that Khan Sahab plays, he is requested to play Chandranandan. But of course, Khan Sahab being Khan Sahab, he had no idea what he had played in the studio. So what he had to do is he had to buy his own recording and figure out what he had played and then develop the raga. So, I mean, of course, you have had occasion to learn Chandranandan from perhaps himself, I mean, Khan Sahab himself or from his sons. What are your thoughts on Chandranandan? How have you seen it?
My first, the first time I heard the raga was from the song. I don't know if you know, in 1986 there was an album released where Hoimunti Shukla, Vidushi Hoimunti Shukla, sang few songs by Pandit Ravi Shankar and few songs composed by Ustad Ali Akbar Khan. So there was a song which is still today one of my most favorite songs. It's called Sriti Shudu Thake Sei To Mone Rakhe. So that song was my favorite already when it was released. And I started playing sort of very close at that time, like 86, 87. So I asked my Guruji, who played the sarod? My Guruji told me this is a student of my father. He's a non-Indian, he's a foreigner. He played the sarod. And later I came to know more about this album from Gautam Ghosh, who was my guide for my PhD. I don't know if you know about Gautam Ghosh. He is a music director and he was a professor. He was the head of the department of Rabindranath University when I came to do my PhD, when I rejoined my university to do my PhD. So Gautam told me about these recording sessions. And then I came to know from my Guruji, that this is a raga. This is a song which is based on a raga created by Baba, his father, Ustad Ali Akbar Khan. So then I told, can I learn? He told, no, 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 no. It is too difficult for you now. I told, I love so much the song. So he told, it is a raga that you have to learn at least after 10 years. But unfortunately, when 10 years passed, then my Guruji was not alive anymore. So I had not the possibility to learn from him. So what I play today is that I have heard from recordings and from my Guruji, Ustad Khan Sahab, that I learned, and from Khan Sahab when he was doing workshops. In Shishir Moncho, there was one workshop where he taught us Chandranandan. And at Ali Akbar College of Music in Kolkata, he had a workshop where I joined. There, he also showed us how to use the Sudhani and how to use the Re and all this. And that influenced me to compose a song, a composition which is Guru Vandana I have, which my students have performed. And that is a combination of three ragas, Lalit, uh, Chandranandan, and at the end, it is a big change to Bhupali or like Sud Kalyan. I don't know if you know about my Guru Vandana that I composed. But the other ragas that I have learned from
That
him,
is there in the next video. Please continue. The
okay,
Chandranandan part is there in the next video. Please continue.
okay. But I just wanted to say that the other ragas that I learned from him while different occasions, I cannot remember right now from which time, but Madhumaluti and Malayalam. This is a raga which has the same sound, same notes used like Charukeshi. And I heard that recording first time in Germany from a friend who used to cook for Mahapurush Mishra. Because Mahapurush Mishra, when Ali Akbar Khan came to Germany, Ali Akbar Khan's Mahapurush Mishra was a Shakahari. He was a vegetarian. He was not happy to have food from restaurants. So this guy who was a cook at a restaurant, but he is from India, and he specially cooked for Mahapurush Mishra while Ali Akbar Khan Sahab was touring Europe. So this guy had a recording, a record, where I first time heard, I think it was 1995 or 96 maximum. I think it is 95 most probably. So I heard the Malayalam, and then in one occasion I asked him about this raga, and then he told me, "You wait, there will be a time when I will talk about that raga." So these two ragas I play more often than Chandranandan because a lot of people only play Chandranandan. So I prefer to play Madhumalati and Malayalam if I am asked to play. First of all, I don't think I am in a position to play ragas by him. I am not yet ready, I should say. I am really
Uh,
afraid about playing those ragas because
so
it's created by him. But when somebody is telling, "Oh, this is 100th year," or "This is special occasion," so when in Germany I had a producer who told me to do something special for Khan Sahab's 75th birthday. I have a record called Ecstasy, released from Germany, where I played Bhageshri. No, I played Bilas Khani Tori, Bhageshri, and Mishra Shivaranjani. And in Mishra Shivaranjani, I composed a 14-based rhythmic cycle composition in Dipchandi and dedicated that to Khan Sahab's 75th birthday anniversary.
so
So
about Khan Sahab as a composer of ragas, uh, I mean,
Gauri
what
Manjari
do
is
you
also
think?
another one I should tell you. Sorry, I forgot. I'm interrupting you. Gauri Manjari is also another raga
Right,
where you will know why I told this
11
word,
notes.
that this intellect in that the intelligence is so strong. The passion and the intelligence is so strongly connected with the notes. How he used these 11 notes in that raga, he used out of 12 notes, he used 11 notes. So this is incredible. This you can spend lives, not hours or months or years. You can
Even the rags are also changing every moment. The rag, sometimes there is Purvi, sometimes there is Gori, sometimes the rags are also changing every moment.
Yes, yes. And then how to blend it. Not only that you play two ragas and then combine. So another raga I also love very much. Yesterday, Tejendra played an alap and I played a composition from Devi, that is Vairavi Bhattiyar. Incredibly how he treated the no raga. Of
We should have had that video. I think in Bhairavi Bhattiyar, because you mentioned Devi, there is a duet between Khan Sahab and Nihir Babu for a short part of the film, right?
yes,
A
yes, yes,
very
yes.
beautiful piece,
I played
yes.
that yesterday. That composition. Tejendra played alap and I played this one. Composition I played,
So,
yeah.
so what I'm trying to see is
You wanted to
what
show
would you
something.
call? We'll
You
get to that.
wanted to show a video, you told?
Yes, yes, it will be there. So, what do you think? Uh, I mean, what was the most defining feature in the ragas composed by Ali Akbar Khan Sahab? I mean,
It is for every raga, it is so different. He had so different thinking that during my PhD, it was very difficult for me to write it in words because it is so much of feelings, so much of passion, so much of uh, his individuality in each raga. he as a composer, individual composer for each raga is so different. It was very difficult for me. It
Right.
took me the most of the time to write about the ragas. But if you see with the note structure,
I mean,
then
yeah, I
you
mean,
will not
that's
be
what
able
I'm
to
driving
compare
at, because
Madhuri and Madhumalati. It is totally different.
exactly,
Madhumalati he
exactly.
composed, sorry,
This is exactly what I was driving at. I mean, just by the notes used or just
no,
by
no,
an
no, no,
Arohi or Avarohi, you cannot characterize what he used to do. So,
where he
what
blend
exactly
it
is it?
together, where he came make
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Madhumalati, he wrote in the book where Anindya Banerjee wrote a book about him, Apnader Shivai. In that film, and in that book, it is written that he played in United States in a concert. He wanted to play Madhubanti, I think, and then he used Suddhama and Kamalga, and then Madhumalati was created. So this is only possible by a genius like him. Only possible for a.
indeed,
I always tell he is the god and the ultimate in Indian classical music. To me, at least.
indeed. So, at this point, we shall look at one part of Khan Sahab's famous very first Chandranandan recording, and then Kaku's Tarana composition from the Guru Bandara that is also based in Chandranandan.
Thank you.
That is really beautiful, Kaku. Anustup, maybe you would like to go forward with the next question.
So both of Pandit Ravi Shankar and Ustad Ali Akbar Khan then experimented, like not experimented, but they have tried out fusion, which they did not call fusion. But both of them tried out. Pandit ji more than Ustad ji, of course. So, what was your take on that? How did you get influenced? And you have also interacted with many musicians all over the world. So, did you get influenced by that, or was your influence coming from somewhere else? And because I have
No,
heard
of
your fusion,
course.
it's very good.
As I told you, I was in my early 20s when I first started traveling to Europe. But of course, I was not, to be honest, I was not exposed to that much work of Pandit Ravi Shankar already being in India, because at that time, that like now you can find those recordings in YouTube easily, but in 1990s, in the early 90s, it was not that easily available. So when I came to Europe and I came to know that they're beautiful, the first album that influenced me, my Guruji, Ustad Ashish Khan Sahab, have given me this recording, Philip Glass, the work with Philip Glass, Panditji's work with Philip Glass. And then I came to know
Passages,
about
I think.
passages. Then I came to know about Journey and Garden of Dreams in 90 and 93 it was released. But I came to know about that when I came to West. I didn't know about that album being in India. So that influenced me, of course, a lot. And I should say this lullaby composition that Khan Sahab have from one of these albums with Western musicians, guitars and string section and other percussion instruments accompanying him, and influenced me a lot. So I composed another lullaby, being influenced by and inspired by that composition. I think if you have
Right.
the possibility, because we have not enough time, I think left. If you have the possibility to show that
Yes, we shall.
recordings, then you
Yes,
have
it's
a
there.
clear idea how it influenced me.
I mean, that recording is actually going to speak more about the influence than anything any of us can have to say, because, both I think are in, if I'm not mistaken, Zilla Kafi or something like that.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Kafi scale.
So,
Actually, in Western music, they call it Dorian scale. It is
Dorian, right.
the flat third and flat
Flat 3, flat
seventh.
7.
Yes,
Right.
Rani Komal.
Uh,
So, but I use the Suddhaga, like in Kafi we use quite often, and
right.
I used a little bit of Miyaki Mallar at the last part. I don't know if
Right.
you have the possibility to show
Yes,
the
it's there.
whole
It's there.
composition.
It's there. Don't think we'll have time to show the whole thing, but definitely a part of it. And luckily, the part that I've edited out has that Mia Malhar phrase. So we'll get to that. But before
Hear
we
that
get,
now. Okay,
yes,
okay.
but before we get there, one more question I'd like to ask you is, as Anustup just said, Pandit Ji and Khan Sahab have been trailblazers in what we call fusion music today. So from when they started to what is happening today, what do you think has changed?
Yes, very good question. I'm very happy about this question. Actually, the most important question for me. I think the collaboration that both of them did, they have worked with those musicians for a very, very long time before they made an album. It is not like that I'm a very good jazz saxophonist from United States and I found a very good Chinese flute player or Indian bamboo flute player and come to the stage and make music. It's not possible. A composition where you want to invite musician representing different genre of music. First of all, you have to learn that genre, or you have to learn that musician for a longer time, work with them, and both the musicians have to have love and respect for each other, so that both this fusion is really making happening. So I think nowadays almost every sitar sarod player I come across, or violin player, even flute player, they have one band, or they change the band members when the flute player isn't available. They asking another flute player. But if you see my works, I always wanted to have special sound for my different projects. Like I have a classical project with a 8 string classical guitar player from Switzerland. It's called Anurag. And there I never changed a guitar player because I know he can play only on that album, because it is 3 years of extensive work in India and Switzerland. I traveled to do that album only 4 times, not without. I did not play any concert on those tours. I just went there to practice with him, to finalize which we will record. Then I came back to India, worked on myself. Then I came back again to go to the studio and then record the album. So you can hear it from the recordings that they have worked together. They have the love and respect, mutual respect to each other. And the sound is something. It is not that I go on stage and say, "Oh, let's play something on coffee. Let's go." Like nowadays people say, "Let's make music." I feel music is born. You cannot make music. Music is born. So when you especially come together, so then first of all, like was lucky that I had an ideas of not a very deep idea like today I have about harmonies, because Indian classical music is based on melody and Western classical music is based on harmonies. So when I came to first to jazz concert, I was touched with one. I was at Moonstar Jazz Festival, staying there in the tent for 3 days, listened to many big names in jazz music. And one concert I heard, I was listening to someone playing trumpet. I started crying. Same like I started crying. I start crying listening to Ali Akbar Khan Sahab. Same mood, a different music, but same mood. Like he was touching me so much. But then the next band which came, it was so much noise. I asked my German friend, "What is this? If it is this is music, what is noise? For me, this is noise." So you have to. And then my friend told me in early 90s, "Notice you have to come more often. You cannot decide about this music today. In 5 years or 6 years, you have to go go regularly to concerts by jazz musicians. Then you will understand this different of approach of music, different approach, and also the harmonies. Now if I listen to a good jazz music, my ear is ready for that. I do also myself, I do a lot of jazz. I love jazz music. So, but
Uh,
if somebody is saying, "Oh, Indian classical music is also improvised music, jazz music is also improvised music," we can do anything. Let's take a scale and come, let's play something. And like a melody, like a gut, take a gut in Yaman and tell him, "Oh, this is
Lydian.
Lydian scale." But Lydian scale is not a Yaman.
Yes.
If you say Dorian scale, and it is not Kafi. Kafi is different. Dorian scale, thinking of Dorian scale in Western music is totally different. I know, I'm not telling I know everything, but I learned a lot of things. I don't know much, but I have learned. I'm still learning. I love to be a student all my life. So I'm learning, and I'm still now when I'm with my, I have very good friends around the world. You know, I have been to 48 countries. I think if there was not the COVID, I could complete 50
Mhm.
countries. I had been to some countries where I will never go and nobody will go again, like Damascus or Algeria, Syria. I don't think it will be very soon that people will go to Syria to perform again. So
That is
these kind of countries, I met musicians, incredible musicians, street musicians, incredible musicians on different occasions. And from
right.
them, I learned. I loved very much the flamenco style of music and the idea. And then I could never play, but then I came in contact with a real Spanish guitarist player, and I learned some style of playing guitar. I am not playing professionally, but I know how to play that. I can show someone who plays guitar how to play that style. But that doesn't mean I am a flamenco guitarist. But I learned it because I wanted to let people know this is a different way of learning. It is not learning a raga from your guru in India. It is not the
Right.
same way of how you treat a raga when you play jazz music, how you treat a note is not the same like we treat Kamal Ray Kab in Shri. How we
Right.
treat dhare in Marwa. It is not the same if you play a piano dhare. It's not possible, not possible. Because first of all, the ragas like Marwa, Shri have a different position of the Kamal Ray, Ati Kamil, or a little bit higher ray, like morning ragas we do have
Right.
the C sharp more flattened than the normal
Right.
piano equally tempered scale. So, but you can feel that they have a composition which have oh, it is like Marwa, but they don't see that as Marwa. They see it in a different way. Their
That's
approach is different.
right. Uh,
Use of
okay, I think,
notes and the
yeah,
harmonies is different. Even it is different from the Western classical to Western jazz. Big difference. The Western classical
right.
musicians are never played. I was so lucky I've met in my life only one person who is the numero uno. In Italy, it's called number one musician. He's a clarinet player. His name is Gabriele Mirabassi. I think the viewers and also you, if you have got the possibility to listen to my project where my wife Shirin also sang, it is a project called Asa Choral of Life. Choral of Life, Asa. This is with a oud and guitar player from
Oh,
Germany who learned with Egberto Gismonti from Brazil. Egberto Gismonti had a very famous project with Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasia. So my friend's guru was someone who had Indian influence with Hariprasad Chaurasia. So I have made this album, and there we have a guest musician called Gabriele Mirabassi. He is a very, very, very famous and very good classical clarinet player, but he is as good in jazz music.
right.
So this is
Right.
rare situation because normally if you meet a classical musician in Western countries, they only play classical. They don't listen to jazz.
Jazz. Right. Right.
Like in
Uh,
India, a lot of gurus from our uh, fraternity, they don't allow you to sing tumri if you learn khyal. My wife is
right.
like that. She's very particularly she is in love with khyal singing only. So she was singing three or four different genre of music from All India Radio, but she stopped. She told, "No, I will only concentrate on khyal and teach khyal and learn
Yes.
khyal." So this is
Yes.
how we call this orthodox people. Because of these people, the classical music is still alive. Also, the
This
Western classical
actually
music. I
might
don't
be
think
a good time to listen to the lullabies before we move on to the next question, because we are running a bit short on time.
okay.
Absolutely beautiful, Kaku. Before Onushtu moves on to the final question, just a few things, just because I was listening to it. I mean, not just the selection of raga, I just happen to find a lot of more similarities with Khan Sahab's compositional style in this because, you know, other than the fact that, of course, there is kafi, uh, every other instrument is more or less playing the same melody line. There is very little counterpoint and only very basic chords. So that is just almost entirely a replica of how Khan Sahab composed his lullaby. Uh, okay, Onushtup, I
But one
think.
thing I have to tell you, I don't know if you have noticed it as a musician, that this is a style that I initiated actually as a sarod player. I think if you have a research work on this, you will never find a sarod player playing flageolet on sarod. Flageolet is something it's playing on a guitar when you play
Pinch
the
harmony kind of thing, I think.
so I
Pinch
use
harmony, right?
sitar. Actually, Nikhil Bandyopadhyay used that sound for sitar. So I was influenced a lot by Pandit Nikhil Banerjee. But in sarod, to play a melody with flageolet only is not there
That is
before
absolutely
I
remarkable.
I found it. So I worked on it strongly. And then Daniel, the guitar player who taught me this, whom you just saw, Daniel is the guitar player with whom I formed my first fusion band called Keabat, which is it was very popular, and still today we have listeners from Keabat all over the world. He showed me, but he told he tried this with other Sarod players later who came to Europe. But he told nobody could play the flageolet like you did. But I know there are some
Remarkable.
very intelligent Sarod players in India who silently follow some styles that I initiated. Also, playing the whole sarod like a guitar, playing the chords like a guitar. I mean, the harmonies like a guitar, and using the resonance strings as the fourth or fifth note. So
I see.
this you will see in some of my recordings, and I think there are some sort of players from my generation and some generation later also. They silently follow my style.
Onushtup, the final question for you, maybe.
The final question is about Khan Sahab's Laikari and Gatkari. So he was a legend in these two fields, other than being a like emperor of Sur. So, what would you say that your influence from that? Because I have
No,
seen that your Laikari
yes,
is also very much shaped like that.
yes, of course. That is a part that I have worked a lot in my life, but mainly influenced. First, first of all, I was influenced by my guru now, Ustad Khan Sahab. He showed me some paths, some ways to do, and then from the recordings, because from Khan Sahab I did not have so much time to learn. Naturally, he was always so busy when he was touring or whenever I came to him. But have you? I think you both have read the book Rag Anurag by Pandit Ravi Shankar Bhai. He so wrote that he was working with a South Indian percussionist to do during the Jugalbandi some special thing that Ali Akbar Khan would not know. And then on the stage when he played some lines, Khan Sahab only laughed very silently and then played something that made everybody on the stage spellbound how he could do, like he told, um, uh, I was doing a house, like building a house like this, and with one stroke the whole house is demolished. With Laikari also, he had a very different approach and thinking of Sur, as you told, with Sur, of course, and also with Laya. Laya, he was tempo. He was very special. Laikari and Gatkari. So this is, I think we can spend hours on Gatkari. Like same Gat when he coming back when he's coming back uh, after the tabla player is playing some solo and he's playing the same Gat later. totally different approach second time. Again, you are expecting that approach, and then third time it is a different approach. Only changing of the position of the note in the particular beat or off beat. So
Do you think
Laikari
something
Gatkari
has
is something.
changed? Like people are like more following composed tehais and composed things they're playing it, and he was more of like it was spontaneous and
So
improvised. Don't you think so?
Yes, of course.
in this
See, his
context,
music was un
one may be
like
relevant.
you cannot. How what is that? I am not getting the no, word.
Impromptu.
Unexpected, yes. So unexpected that they are, everything is so unexpected. When we play, or nowadays, if you listen to some artists, you know this is the tan, this is the teha, it will come. Okay, after the first palla, like teha, you have three pallas, or in Chakradhar, after the first time, you know, okay, this is the gat he is doing, or this is the gatkari he is doing, this like he is doing. But Khan Sahab had a totally unexpected. There is an unexpected lakari and unexpected finish. This is also very important for any artwork, how you finish the whole thing. It don't have to be always the tehai. Also, like a finished product, when you finally present it to the audience, when you finally present it to the customers as a product in corporate, I am telling about this. Uh, in that situation, in musically, he's when he finished one line, it can be with sur, it can be also with laikari and gatkari. It was not possible to gaze. You could not gaze what is happening next. Your gaze, you cannot gaze. And it was until the last recordings of him also. When he played Shri one time, I was there in Remembrance Southern. He was playing incredibly, and then it was with Kishan Maharaj. And when he started the Gat, we were all musicians were looking to each other, what is happening this time? You know what I mean? So he was always different. Every concert was different because it is only possible with a genius that you cannot guess what is happening next. Even with the
so
Tihai he started, he thought, oh, this is the Tihai, but then it took another way.
Right. Uh, Here, I think I don't remember where I heard it, but in some concert, Khan Sahib is supposed to have announced that he would play Vilambit Tintal. But when he started playing the Gat, I think it was one matra short. So it turned into Pancham Savari. So instead of correcting the 15 to 16, he played the entire concert in 15 matras Vilambit. I don't know if it is true. I think I heard it somewhere.
Okay.
So,
But he was also one of the rarest musicians who did this uneven talas composition in Sare Aat Matra
yes.
Sare Chhe. So I have a composition, though it is not classical composition, it is a composition for oud and sarod. I composed this. It's called Six and a Quarter. This is also because
Okay.
my influence. I have a composition also in that album. I am telling you, Asa, Choral of Life. There is a composition in 8.5 beats, not classical raga composition. It is a composition, just a composition. But uh, I was influenced by that as well.
Uh, I think that wraps up our discussion for today. Kaku, it was a privilege and a pleasure having you here. Onustup, same goes with you. Thanks for agreeing
Thank
to
you.
do
Next
this.
time, I think
Thank you.
you should have someone who can talk better than me because I cannot
Uh,
talk better than I can play. Um,
I
but
mean, whatever you have
as
shared
you asked
has
me, and it is
It
afforded
because
was
of
a
a lot of.
Khan
pleasure
I told
talking to
yes, I
you.
will do it. But I'm
Absolutely.
not a good talker. I'm sorry about that.
What we shall do is we'll wrap up with again a montage of two videos. Khan Sahib playing a bit of Madhumalati, then Kaku's recent concert recording of the same raga with the guest from our previous episode, Master Shubhajyoti Guha, accompanying him on the tabla. And we shall not reappear after that. That will be the end of today's episode. Thank you everyone for staying with
Thank you.
us. Thank you, Kaku. Thank you, Anustup,
Shubho
once more.
Navabarsha once again, Bengali, you
Shubha
are to all the
Navabarsha.
viewers. Thank you.